What does it take to become a professional thief? Traditional definitions of professional thief include nonviolent criminal activity carried out with a high level of skill for financial benefit. It typically aims to maximize cash prospects while lowering the likelihood of being caught. A professional thief must prioritize quality over quantity when it comes to heists and his planning skills. Because it reduces the likelihood of being detected and raises the value of the items being stolen, planning is crucial. A man sitting across from you at your table in the tavern looks you over before settling down. He is wearing a heavy hooded coat. He approaches the bartender, asks for a tall brew, and gives the waitress a friendly smack on the rump as she heads off to get it. Yet his eyes follow the barmaid's change purse and observe yours. He smirks briefly before grinning knowingly and flashing your sparkle in his eye. So, do you believe that you wish to commit theft? Indeed, some thieves become wealthy and have better lives than the majority of patricians. Yet, the harsh reality is that most of you young men who are trying to steal a few large purses end up with a brand on their foreheads or, worse yet, are found dead in a gutter for making the wrong mark. But if this is what you want, who am I to refuse you without first offering you some advice to get you started? Before moving on, he pauses briefly to give the bartender his ale and gives her his best roguish look. Let me tell you the story of Elon, a young burglar. You might pick up a few tips from his experiences, and maybe, just maybe, someday, you'll be around to share some of your adventures. Now go get yourself a beer and relax. We still have some talking to do. There are a few stats for a thief that stick out as being very crucial for your comfort when playing a thief. While it is not necessary to have all of these stats at very high levels, doing so makes things much simpler. I'll also discuss a few ancillary stats and how they could affect how you play the role of a thief. Significant data, dexterity. Without a doubt, the most crucial stat for a pure thief is dexterity. A high dexterity stat means that you will need to train less to attain perfect ones for the majority of moves, which has a huge impact on your ability to accomplish almost any move. Sadly, unlike weapons, there is no dexterity skill to raise your stat if it isn't already high. I'd reroll till you received a respectable dexterity result if you plan to create a pure thief or at least someone who was solely interested in stealing. Speed. Possessing strong speed allows you to move between targets more quickly and, if required, to flee from them more quickly thanks to the ability to stealthily make moves and retreats. Although it is not strictly necessary for a thief, speed greatly aids in efficiency and avoidance. Being agile is particularly helpful for avoiding capture, which you will likely do frequently in the beginning and possibly even as a master thief. After all, a master still stands a slight risk of missing too. A pure thief might find it simpler to not have to spend that much time on a non-essential skill when their focus is not combat, even though this can be improved if you allocate ranks to combat maneuvers and footwork especially, since it will only count during battle. Additional statistics and their effect. Endurance. Stealing may be equally as exhausting as a battle, therefore having a higher endurance will allow you to steal for an extended period. If you choose that course of action, it also implies that you will have far more health points to lose while avoiding capture. However, keep in mind that PC constables may eventually become aware of outstanding warrants, which significantly limits your freedom of movement if you don't have any street smarts experience. Strength. A coin is a hefty object. This is fantastic since I can't think of a better weight to carry than a bag filled to the brim with silver and gold. Your stealing sessions will be shorter if you can't lift it, though, because then you'll have to make a stealthy trip to the bank and run the danger of being apprehended if you have an outstanding warrant. Willpower. You can hide and sneak better if you have strong willpower. While these don't matter much while you're just starting as a thief, they become much more important as you start to learn the profession. The closest thing to a perfect thief I can think of is one who is never caught. Empathy. Empathy is not a stat to aim for at all, but it does have a small function in your setups. I'll leave it up to you to manipulate the character generator to get those stats based on the adjectives, descriptions, and other options you select. But starting with terms like swift, dexterous, or nimble would be a good idea. If not, look through the forums on the main website for advice on creating a faster, more agile character. Nations and their effects. Now that we are aware of the stats that a thief has to possess, we can examine more closely which nationalities will enable us to attain our targets of respectable dexterity, speed, and agility. Although I firmly believe that creating your character around a role-playing concept is crucial, for this article, we'll focus on the nationalities that are most appropriate for characters focused on pickpocketing. Cinera, plus 25 dex, plus 15 SPD, plus 10 agi. From a stats viewpoint, Cinera is a clear winner because it offers the biggest benefit to dexterity without affecting any of our other crucial stats. The fact that pickpocketing is neither prohibited nor given a lower skill point value for a Cineran rules out two further probable candidates, Altine and the Estevan League. Also, the free trait Steady Hands is an option and would increase our base dexterity even more. Alternately, choosing Nimble Feet would increase our quickness and agility. Last but not least, selecting Knives as a free talent would help if you wanted to have a cover skill. Cinera is the finest choice for the home country of a thief because all three of the gifts are ideal for our needs. Parkiness, plus 15 dex, plus 15 agi, plus 10 SPD. The Parkiness is a respectable substitute for Cinera in that it offers boosts for each of the crucial stats, and imposes no restrictions on the usage of the skill pickpocketing. However, compared to Mountain Lung's usefulness for accelerated fatigue restoration, the free traits and talents are subpar. Unless it's for the love of Ariel, stop pounding me with your stave. I yield, a thief won't be shouting any batteries. Iridine from the Steppes doesn't have any stat benefits or penalties, but the Steppes characters do have some helpful extras for a thief searching for a cover, including you can use the free skill to study pickpocketing after selecting any skill as your primary skill. However, you may focus on picking pockets first and then use the free courses on using knives or swords. If you are caught sufficiently to face branding or flogging, it might also work in your favor to be a citizen. Qualities to think about. There are many useful traits to choose from, but picking the proper one can occasionally be a challenge. Nevertheless, we're aiming for a thief with a decent set of stats to start us out with, and neither of them immediately benefits us. Having a thief with night vision and a hunter's eye might undoubtedly make for an interesting mix. These are some examples of those that do. Plus 3, Nimble Feet, increases speed and agility. One characteristic that combines two crucial thief stats, free for Cineran characters if you desire it. Stable Hands, plus 3, dexterity gains a sizable boost. Given that dexterity is our most crucial stat, this one deserves careful consideration. It is also free for a Cineran character, as was already indicated. Availability of Mind, plus 2, half, Time Shocker. This is useful for escaping from those bothersome vigils or constables brandishing truncheons and their knockdown blows. While it doesn't improve your stats, it might help you avoid capture so that you can steal other people's possessions for a little bit longer. Half of the stand-up time is for light sleepers, neutral. This is beneficial for avoiding and resisting arrest, which is the same reason Presence of Mind is. This is especially helpful if you tend to steal an Iridine because the city's police officers frequently utilize sweeping movements. This one is a must-do because it doesn't cost you any points, in my opinion. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.